Get my driver mod ready. Know what I'm saying? I'll gap your Hellcat. So ever since I got my Coyote Mustang, there's been one problem with it and one problem only, and that is that I got it with aftermarket paint on the vehicle. And with the aftermarket paint, it had blue seats, right? The car came with black and blue interior, and it matched great. And then they painted it and they didn't change the interior. And so to fix that, in today's video, I finally got new seats for my S197 Mustang. So anyways, I got a set of Braum seats, got them from my guy Jess at Modify Mustang. If you actually want a set of seats like these in the video, hit him up. I'm gonna put a link down in the description, as well as you can see the website going through right now to the seats I've got. But man, I got these seats and I ordered them back in October. It just took a while for them to actually be built and shipped through Braum. But man, just actually out of the box quality, they seem absolutely phenomenal. And I'm gonna be teaching you how to put them together and install them in your S197 Mustang or other vehicle if you're looking at it. But this is gonna be a somewhat how to install guide. And yeah, I've already got one together, so I can try not to idiot proof, you know, putting them together, not sound like an idiot, but I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. It sucks balls, and I'm probably still gonna sound like an idiot and put it on the right way. And I somehow managed to still put it on backwards because it takes like 45 minutes a seat to put together. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I put this one together the right way by taking my stock driver's seat out and putting this one in, hoping for the best, and then I guess I'll put one more together, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. Stay tuned, guys. Alrighty, so before we get really in deep with everything, I am going to go over it and explain everything that I needed for my S197 Mustang. Pretty much all vehicles running these Braum seats are going to need the exact same things, and so we're going to go ahead and start off with the simplest one. You're going to need a Braum seat. You're going to need the seat. It's going to come with the hardware on the bottom side of the seat down here to actually attach it to the sliders and everything. So that's not really gonna be too much of an issue. The next thing you're gonna need is the bracket to bolt it into the car. You can cheap out on this option. I just chose not to because that's what holds my butt into the seat of my 700 wheel horsepower car. And so I just rather the bracket not be made of eBay-nesium or Chinesium. So I went in with the planted option, which is what Braum recommends, the planted brackets. So I got the planted brackets. Now, some of these seats from Braum are going to come with sliders, some will not. Luckily, this spec that I got do come with sliders, so I do have sliders here that's going to allow me to adjust the seat forward and backwards and all that fun stuff. The stuff that makes the car drivable. In my personal opinion, I got reclinable racing seats because I want the car to go on 8-hour road trips. If you didn't get that, not having sliders probably isn't the end of the day for you. So what essentially we're going to do is we're going to have the sliders hooked up to the planted brackets, and then we're going to hook it all up. So essentially, technically, we'll go sliders to seats and then sliders to bracket. So but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some tomfoolery, test fitting some seats right fast, and then we'll get into putting everything together. So I'm gonna start with the driver's seat, and I'm gonna probably try not to be dumb and take it out wrong, which I've done that. You can do that. I can't remember exactly how. I think you unplug it before you, I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna try to take the driver's seat out. It's really not hard. I think it's some 13s and some 15s, and you can yank these things out pretty freaking easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these front two bolts off, which are the 13s. I think it's 15s in the rear. But go ahead and get this seat out and hope for the best. Wish I didn't spend so much money on race cars so I could buy tools, because this is Raven's Matco Sidekick thing. This thing's sick, not gonna lie. But I'm unfortunately too poor because I spent $1,200 on seats. But anyways, time to zip these things out right fast. Bro, you got your thing in the slow movie mode. You gotta go full blicky mode at all times. As far as I know, the hardware itself should be the same, so I don't think we're gonna have to swap bolts or anything as far as the physical seats go. But I don't know about the rest. I'm also gonna clean my car out because I let my buddy Brandon borrow this thing, and he is terrible at cleaning cars out. He just leaves his crap in here, and so that means I gotta get his crap out and whatever else. I also have a toothbrush and toothpaste because, you know, race car. Ugh. Remember, kids, lift with your back. The driver's side is always the worst. Oh my gosh, the rear studs. Oh my goodness. That's one of the reasons also that I'm getting rid of these seats. These factory premium seats weigh like 75 pounds a piece. They don't need to be this heavy, Ford. God bless. Yeah, so factory seat is out. Time to get a thumbnail right fast. But I think I might have put the slider on backwards. I'm not even gonna lie. I was putting it together based off a YouTube video that I saw of a guy who was installing them on a Silverado, because there's really no videos out for S197 Mustangs installing these Braum seats and sliders and the planted brackets and all that stuff. And yeah, it just kind of defeats the purpose of watching YouTube videos. Like, Chris Fix ain't there to save me on this one. So I'm your Chris Fix today, baby. But yeah, let me go ahead and get this cleaned up right fast and clean all the dirt and crap out and test fit that seat. Make sure I didn't put the sliders on backwards. If I did, don't worry about it. If I didn't, I'm gonna teach you how to do it right. This one is so much lighter. Oh my goodness. This isn't even fair. A little tight fit on the driver's side. The bolstering, that's fine. The bolstering of the new seat is pretty aggressive. Now it's just lining the brackets up with the holes. Whew, that fits good. That fits really good, actually. Hold up. I did get the planted brackets, like I said earlier in the video, and I think it was worth it not cheaping out on the brackets. I've seen some people use cheaper brackets, I think, and I just don't think that would be my cup of tea to use a cheaper bracket than what Braum suggests. Yeah, these things they fit pretty solid, honestly, not gonna lie. Let's see, let me get them bolted in right fast and give it a little butt test, see how she sits. Let's give her, it definitely looks very race car in here. Let's see. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. This feels really freaking good in here. I'm not even gonna lie. So Sean's S650 has always had the Ford Performance Recaros and stuff in it, and that's really what partially made me want to get these. And now it's like, man, this thing sits nice. The only thing I feel like I'm gonna miss is heated seats, of course, because not having heated seats sucks, especially when it's freezing cold and snowing every weekend. And the only thing I really see right now is they sit pretty high, but I do actually have like a spacer down here, if you can see. So I may try to avoid using that on the passenger side rail right fast. I'll go ahead and put that seat together, show you how to put them together, and I'm gonna sit in the passenger seat when I do that, see if I like it. If I do, I'll take the spacer off these, or if I can fit them, whatnot. But already off initial rip, like I can just like gotta give her the you gotta here little hold up. Get my driver mod ready. You know what I'm saying? I'll gap your Hellcat. All right, let's get the other seat together. We're gonna get cameraman reaction. How do you? They feel pretty good, don't they? They're pretty buckety. I'm not gonna lie. You can definitely feel the bolsterings on the side of these Braum seats. They look good in there. The height difference is real. Oh yeah. It's definitely pretty. I definitely seem very tall in there. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna actually take those spacers out. We're gonna see on the passenger side, but also I don't care about the passenger. Only I matter. So we're gonna see how it goes. I also have to swap the driver's side buckle. But without further ado of playing around fitting the seats and all that stuff, let me go ahead and show you essentially putting them all together. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and start putting everything together, and like I said, the first step of order is going to be putting these sliders on. So I did get these sliders, they come with these seats like I said earlier, and essentially what you're gonna be doing is installing the sliders with this handle facing upwards. I have mine at kind of a bent up position, so it's gonna be bent up right here, so you can easily just grab from between your legs and slide it forward, essentially. So it's not gonna be too terribly hard. I just have to remember which way the sliders go. And I'm gonna go ahead and get them all situated and set up, get everything unbagged, and kind of show you more what I'm talking about. These are very fun to try to figure out and navigate. I'm very stupid. I just realized after bolting that down, I did just 100% put that on backwards. pretty sure I said in the intro, this is low-key a pain, not gonna lie. You want it to slide super far forward because if you have it slide super far forward, people can get into the back seat. I don't have that anymore. But if you have it slide super far backwards, you can sit in the back seat essentially. I originally put it on backwards. So what you're essentially gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna put them on and get them kind of like loosely fit with the Allen keys. And then once you do that, you wanna essentially make it to where the slider is going to slide the seat very far forward, but not very far backwards, because it will slide pretty far backwards, but you don't want it to slide super far backwards. You don't want all your travel to be backwards. You still want it to be forward so people can get in, if you have a coupe at least. This is going peak. This is going absolutely swell right now. Definitely not grabbing a hammer because, yeah. This one seems to have slight fitment issues on the slider. Not gonna lie. This is going splendid. We'll catch you when I figure out what's going on. Alrighty, so after just a little bit of just gentle massaging, nothing too terribly dead, nope. After some gentle massaging, we have got the sliders on the seat. Yeah, so honestly, it was off by maybe a 1/16 of an inch right down there. We just had to like ream the hole out a little bit with a drill bit, and everything lined up perfectly fine. So this is how your sliders should be looking. We have the brackets here on the inside. Definitely want to be on the inside. If they're on the outside, they're not going to work whatsoever. And then we have these sliders facing to where the long form will go all the way like back that way, so the seat will go all the way forward so people can get in and out. You don't want the seats to go long form this way because, like I said, you'll be riding in the back seat. So yeah, that's that on. To attach this, it's not really hard, but I'll let the cameraman hold it so I can show you. All right, so these have little holes like this. You're gonna essentially want to stick those little holes on the mounting tabs here, like so. They're gonna go like that, and then that allows you to push the seat bracket forward, and that's gonna allow you to use your sliders. So you might be wondering why everything is back off, and like 2 seconds ago I was like, this is the right way, and put it on the right way, and I somehow managed to still put it on backwards. In the intro, when I said I might sound like an idiot, I might be an actual idiot. Yeah, so I somehow put the sliders on back, or the sliders on backwards, to where you have to push down to slide back, not pull up. And I don't know if that's actually wrong, but I prefer them to be a pull up. I feel like you normally pull up to get the slider to slide back. So now I'm gonna flip everything back around because I think that it should be a pull up, not a push down. And we're just gonna duplicate. Yeah, we're gonna duplicate the same thing we just did, but we're just gonna flip the sliders to where the part is going to essentially, when you go to put them in, you're gonna push this down. So essentially we're gonna flip flop which side they were on. So it's gonna be you're gonna want this piece to push upwards. So when you pull, it's gonna pull up. Yeah. That took like 5 minutes this time. And it definitely was my fault. Can't lie to you on that one. So if you actually started by doing the other way first, you put it on backwards, that's your fault, because I definitely put text when editing that you should skip to that point in the video. But yeah, this is the proper way it goes, and I can confirm because everything fits better and you don't have to use a handy dandy drill. So we're gonna go ahead and get the planted bracket on if you're still watching. So it's actually not that hard to fit because it's pretty self-explanatory. You have a hole here for where the seatbelt buckle is going to go through, and if that is not on the area where your seatbelt buckle initially was, which on the seat it's over here, if it's not in that same area, then you did it wrong. So essentially I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to go. It comes with hardware essentially that just goes through. There's going to be like 3 holes up here. You're going to line these holes up, which I think on the S197s it's going to be middle, and middle. And that's just going to center the seat and get everything all straight. But you can just throw bolts through each of the holes, and it's going to allow you to line everything up. But do not tighten anything down until you have all of them lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and get the hardware, get everything lined up, and get everything straightened so I can show you how everything goes. All right, we're back. We're on Sean's phone. My phone died mid-recording. So I've got the bracket pretty much put up, and the way I'm doing it, I've changed it from the way I did the driver's side. I'm going to put the passenger side in and see if I want to switch it. But I've got the bolt like this, washer on, and we're going Allen key side from the backside through the slider rail, and then I am sticking the spacer on and then the nut on. So if you come over to this one right here, you can kind of see we've got the spacer, we've got the nut, and then the Allen key is going through that way. I think that's going to help my problem of feeling like I'm sitting too high. I mean, it's, you know, maybe a 3/4 of an inch, half an inch drop, so not that much, but it's going to be slightly noticeable, I'd assume. So I'm going to put it on, see if it's actually worth anything. But that's how I put the planted bracket on the sliders. And then you're going to need a few specialty tools. Essentially, I do cut an Allen key to be able to fit in down the seat slider to fit it in there. And I don't know what size this is. And then it is a 1/2 inch socket to tighten those up there. But that's pretty much it. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this last screw through on the bracket down here. It's going to be a little hard to do without being able to see. But slides in like that. Grab the spacer, and then the spacer on like that, and then we'll grab our nut and put the nut on just like that. And then I can take my trusty dusty Milwaukee and my Allen here and stick them through down here. This feels like I'm doing like a jungle gym right now. This is low-key kind of difficult to sit in this chair and do this, but my knees hurt from my knees hurt from doing the other seat. So we're just gonna tighten that up, make sure everything else looks pretty straight, and then I'm just gonna bolt all the other ones in, and that's pretty much the bracket on. A lot less headache than the rest of it. So let me finish getting this all together. I can tell by the way she's two-stepping around the room. Whoop. I think that's all I'm gonna need to undo the seatbelt. Just threads in there. I don't need the actual connector. I really do not care. The airbag light is on. I just need the buckle, so I am safely buckled in. So that's it. All right, so we got everything situated on the seats. I went ahead and did swap this one to where the spacers are on the bottom, so it does sit a little bit lower. And then we got essentially the seatbelt buckles hooked up. I do not care about them actually having any functionality just besides clicking and holding me in place. I have an airbag light on the dash because I have no rear seat belts or anything with the rear seat delete, so I really don't care. It's just in there. So I just used some random bolts and nuts and washers that didn't come with the kit to bolt that seatbelt buckle into the place where it needs to go. So now all we have to do is put the seats back in the car, and we should be good to go and rocking on the seat install. And I'm tired. We're like 2 hours in right now. All right, so we got everything in the car. I just want to give some honest, genuine opinions and what I feel about the seats so far. So, number one, I do think they are very comfy, but they are very tight, which they're supposed to be. They're a racing seat, and I think that feels great. The only really gripe I have is the sliders. They don't slide the best in the world. They're pretty hard. Probably can just lube them up. No big issues. It's about a 2.5 hour install. It's really, really not that bad. But as far as it goes in my car, I like them. I think they're going to make the driving experience significantly better. I cannot wait to hit the tail of the dragon in this thing now. It is going to be phenomenal. And the seating input, they feel very solid. I'm very happy I went with the planted brackets and everything like that. Those were easy to work with for the most part. So overall, I think they're pretty good. Honestly, if you don't have these seats and you've been thinking about them, I think you should pick them up. Honestly, guys, after just a little bit of just sitting in the car, going through everything, I think it was a very, very worthy upgrade to the S197 here, and probably to your ride or whatever you've got. And I hope you learned a little bit of how to install these in these cars. It's really not that bad. Remove your old seats, put some sliders on, some brackets on, bolt them in, and let them rip. Swap your seat belts over. Not too bad overall wise. I think the driving quality, your seats are one of the biggest things you're going to notice in a car. So one of the driving quality upgrades can be seats, and I think it's going to be a big one in this car. The stock seats are really good and really comfy, but the problem I had with them was they were not very bolstered. You slid around a lot, and they didn't match the car. And these now do everything I want. I didn't expect these out to be super flashy or anything like that. They just work, and they're just gonna work in the car, and I am super, super excited about that. For the first time in a long time, I have good lightweight seats in this thing, and I'm very hyped about it, guys. So that's pretty much gonna be it for today's video, installing the Braum seats in the S197 or your vehicle. Any way you choose to go with it, I think they're very well worth it. But yeah, guys, if you want a set of seats, hit up my guy Jess over at Modify Mustang. He'll get you the best deal, promised. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you don't mind clicking that like and subscribe button, we're on the road to hit 5,000 subscribers right now, which is crazy to say. Appreciate all y'all. But I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next video. I can tell by the way she's two-stepping around the room. I'll gap your Hellcat. In the intro, when I said I might sound like an idiot, I might be an actual idiot.